fortunes of many deserts are ruled by distant rains. This water fell as rain in mountains more than 100 miles away. It's known as a flash flood, and called that because the water may run for just a single day. It's an event that only happens.
Hold on. Okay. That sounds good. Hi, Melody. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Good. I need to step away for just a few minutes, but I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
We'll see how many people come on though. That's Lisa Mitchell. Hey, Courtney, how are you?
Sorry, had to get unmuted. Great, how are you today?
Good, thanks. Let me turn my volume up so that I
Your
can
offer
hear.
get accepted, Courtney?
It got accepted. We're in contact.
Yay! Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Actually, Lisa, have you closed a deal before?
No,
No? Okay. I just,
my own, personally.
since Josh is out, I need someone to kind of like walk me through the next step. So I'll find.
We can help you with that.
Can you?
Yeah, what is the congratulations for?
Oh, I'm in contract for my first buyer.
Awesome.
Happened last night at 10 o'clock. They left it to the
Awesome.
very last minute, but so I just need to know.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that you'll learn about this office is that there's so many people that'll help you,
Yeah,
and we can help you with whatever you need.
thank you. I just need a little guidance on what I need to do now.
Absolutely. And that's the scary part is once you get them in contract, which is the fun part, you're just like, ah, ah. But then it's like, what do
there
I
was
do
some
from
dancing
here?
around. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely help you with that.
Thank you.
Let me make a note of that actually. And how did you find that person? Is it a buyer?
A buyer, and it's a friend of a friend.
Good. So you're getting the word out, huh?
I am trying.
How long have you been licensed?
The first week of December.
That's good. That's really good.
And I'm meeting with another buyer today at 5 to sign paperwork with them. So I'm excited.
That's good. You're hitting the ground running. That's awesome.
I'm trying.
So, I mean, we're gonna go ahead and get started because it's 11 o'clock, and I just like to make sure we stay on time with everything. As people come on, they can talk, they can do whatever. But a day in the life of a real estate agent. So I think that you guys probably know by now that every day is completely different. So it is never the same twice. I think the one thing that I would like to hear from you is what have you been on all of the Ignite classes, or have you been involved in all of them? And what have you learned? What have you thought about? What are you going to implement? What do you think you're going to do go forward? Is there anything there that I just want to hear some ahas of what's going on. So Courtney, you want to start?
Sure. I think I've been on all of them so far.
Okay.
I think that the most helpful thing for me was talking about lead generation, especially, and just ways to kind of not be afraid to reach out to those people that you know in your sphere and ask them for a little bit of help, and to remain consistent with that contact, and really how to create your database. My database is still a work in progress, but it's definitely coming along really well.
You know, Courtney, it's funny because database is always a work in progress. It is an everyday thing, and you would be surprised at how many agents have been in the business for many, many, many years and don't have a database. They just kind of like, you know, do things. I mean, I think that's one of the good things that Keller Williams always teaches you is to make sure that you have your database and you have your contacts as updated as possible. So that's really, really, that's good that you're thinking of the database up front, because that's really important. That really is your business.
It really kind of, once you start putting things in your database, it really lays out not only how many contacts you have, but what amount of information you have for each one.
Every person knows 200 people, whether you think you do or you don't. Everybody does. And so your best friend also knows 200 people. So then, you know, you just kind of sit there and you're like, oh, Cindy Brown, she is my friend. Who does she know that I should know? Or, you know, vice versa. And that's where you can really ask your friends for some help. Who do you know that I need to know? I mean, it really, you know, and then you'll start thinking about your dentist, and then you'll start thinking about your doctor, and then you start thinking about your kids in the you know, this parent and that parent and your husband or your boyfriend or whoever, who do they know? You know, all of that stuff. And it all starts trickling down, trickling down. I mean, that's one of the things that I didn't, I have a good database, but I just didn't organize very well. So I have someone here that is helping me for the last week to get all of it updated and getting all that stuff done. And I'll tell you what, just knowing that it's going to be done, I feel like 500 pounds is off my shoulders. And I've been in the business a while. So just knowing that you're starting from the beginning and keeping it, that's really, really awesome.
Yeah, I think
Lisa, what do you,
starting off
what,
organized is important for me. At least.
absolutely, absolutely. Lisa, what is your ahas from so far?
I will have to agree that we've been drilled to start working on that database. So that is top of mind, definitely for me. Some additional lead generation. I'm using a lot of social media. So there have been some good suggestions on other types of posts you can do. Implementing some videos, even if it's just a video text to someone, just different things.
Absolutely. That's good. Good. Melody, how about you?
Was this ahas from just Ignite?
Yeah,
In
just from
general?
Ignite in general. Oh, I like
Wow.
all the stuff behind you.
Well, it's a fake
Oh, it is?
background. Yeah,
It's awfully
see my
fun.
barista back there standing perfectly still. But people
That's
keep telling me
great.
they love my kitchen, and I'm like, yeah, I wish that was my kitchen. You know,
I
with
thought
all
it was.
the
I was like,
espresso
whoa,
machines. That would be awesome.
that's awesome.
I've had a lot as far as that's concerned. In fact, so many that I have to figure out where I'm going to move first, second, and third, you know, because I have so many notes, but I can go back to those later, you know, as my business moves forward. Certainly lead gen, you know, and the importance of time blocking for that, and building the database, as Lisa said, you know, that has been drilled into our head, not just on Ignite, but we have the same coach as well. So, you know, that's been really good. I think for me too, being new to Keller Williams and new to the marketplace, I have to say I've been in the business for a long time in different segments of it, but I've been around a lot of offices. And I have to say, and I've said this before, but I'm so impressed with this office. The way that agents have been so willing to talk to you and give you ideas and give you copies of things they have. And, you know, these are very busy agents that are saying, hey, call me anytime. And so just the level of education and support that I know is going to make a big difference in my success and everybody's success in the company. That's been a big aha for me, to know that I have the support to do what I need to do to get it done.
That's so nice that you say that, because I think that you could walk into any person's office in this market center and anybody would help you. Anybody.
Yeah, it's not like that everywhere.
Yeah.
I just tell you that. And it's not even just that people aren't nice, but they're busy.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not taking the time to give back to the team. But it's like, at least everyone I've been exposed to in Ignite and all the education I've taken so far, people remember what it was like to be in your first year, you know, and they're very compassionate and helpful. So
absolutely,
I've been very impressed with that and very thankful that I'm in the right place.
Good, 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 good. Nicole, what about you?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Gosh, I have learned so much, but I think, again, I'm just going to kind of piggyback off of how important the database is. And I'm very fortunate to be on a team that I'm getting to see how it's tended to, and how you know, different tags and lead sources and things like that work. So it is really important, and it is the heart of the business. And I'm seeing that firsthand. And it's the information that I've gotten so far on Ignite, and the education provided at Keller Williams and on this team has been invaluable, really.
How long have you been in the business?
I was licensed in Ohio in December.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Summer, how about you?
This is actually my first Ignite session.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
so I'm
welcome.
excited to, learn a lot. I've been licensed since like towards the end of December last year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, I'm learning a lot. I'm doing a lot of the online trainings. So I just can't wait to get started and, really start selling and buying helping people buy houses.
Good, 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 good. Well, the best thing is that you're in education, and as long as you keep your mind free to learn constantly, I mean, I think a day in the life of a real estate agent, you have to learn every day. So
Right.
that's really good. Thanks for being on. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Blair, are you there? How about you, Jacqueline?
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Jacqueline. How are you?
Doing fine. I kind of miss a lot of the Ignite sessions, and so um, I'm just here to learn. Like Summer, I'm just here. I had to sometimes leave, come in late. So,
Okay.
but I'm enjoying what I've heard. That's for
Okay,
sure.
perfect. Well, also too, I think that has anyone told you that we do have a YouTube channel for CAP Partners, and you can go on that and you can also watch all of the Ignite all the way back from the beginning. So even when you're sitting at home at night and maybe you're thinking that you're gonna watch that TV show, maybe it's not the TV show that you watch, maybe it's one of the Ignite classes, and that might just like spark something in you that you all of a sudden you're going to be like, wow, I didn't even think about that. So that's good. Thanks, Jacqueline, for being on. Anybody else want to give any ahas of what they've learned so far? Because if not, we're going to go ahead and we'll just get started from what we're doing. Good, 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 good. Okay, so every single day there are things that everyone does in their business, and you can grow your business and you can run your business, and those are two totally separate things. The biggest thing is, and all of you have alluded to this, is your database and what you're going to do with that. That is part of growing your business. So lead generation is by far the most serious thing that you can do. And that is because if you don't lead generate, you don't have any business. And so, I mean, we have different avenues and different ways of helping you to lead generate, but the biggest thing in it is that it has to be part of your everyday schedule. Okay. Having a listing presentation put together. I don't know if many of you have a listing presentation put together, and that's okay if you don't, because we can help you do that and get that all done. Because what you're going to want to do is you're always going to want to practice your listing presentation, and it is really a part of growing your business, is making sure that your listing presentation is the best that it can be. Then you also, some of you might be, only want to work with buyers. So it's your buyer presentation that you want to finesse and you want to master and everything. So that is something that you need to be looking at, because that is, really, really, really serious. Do you guys, any of you, preview properties? Like if you have someone that is a buyer, do you preview new houses that come on the market in your particular area? I know a lot of them come on the market and go off very quickly, so it's kind of hard to do that. But do any of you do that? Go out and check on MLS like on a daily basis? What are the new listings that's come on? And Melody, you said that you do. So, and the biggest part, and the one thing that I learned the most, is when you have a buyer or a seller, it doesn't matter. They really are looking at you as the person that is the professional and knows everything. So if you are listing a house in, let's just say, River Forest neighborhood in Dublin, Ohio, I would definitely make sure that if there is anything that is listed in that area or listed in the neighborhood next to them, or the neighborhood to the right of them or the left of them, I would make sure that I preview those houses, because no matter what, when you're showing those houses to people, they're going to say, oh, well, you know what? I saw a house and it's in the neighborhood next. Do you know anything about that? And if you can say, you know what, I previewed that house and it has green carpet and blue walls, and, you know, and you are educated enough to say, well, they've done this, they've done a great renovation in that house. It really gives you one step ahead of being the professional. It lets them know that you're being proactive in your business and that you truly know what's on the market and what's on the market in the area in which they are looking at, or, you know, whatever. I kind of go out and look at things that are new to the market. And the reason I do that is because I really want to see what are some of the updates that people are doing. You know, with the prices being as high as they are right now, and it seems like, you know, if you're in multiple offers or whatever, it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 multiple offers. Why is that house getting such high multiple offers? Do you know what's around it? You know, what did they do to that house to really, really get those multiple offers? Also, you may be working with a buyer who says, I want an updated kitchen, I want a fenced in backyard, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. But you preview this house and you're like, holy crap, this house has everything they want. It just doesn't have a fenced in yard. Okay, well, they can put a fenced in yard, but you know exactly what they're looking for, and you can go to them and say, you know what, I know you want a fenced in yard, but I looked at this house and I think this is just amazing. It has this, 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 and this, and it really, really, really will, it just puts you ahead, guys. It just puts you ahead of everyone else. There's not a
Holly-
lot of people that preview properties. So the more you educate yourself, the more you learn. And you know what? It may not be an everyday thing that you do. Maybe it's an every once a week thing that you put on your calendar and you go out and you look and see what it is. So then to run the business,
Holly,
you
I'm
know,
sorry, can I ask you a quick question? about-
absolutely, always. I want you guys to talk and interact and do all of that, because that's how we learn.
I have previewed some houses and I've previewed some new construction, and Nicole and Lisa and I are teaming up to sort of keep each other accountable and help each other with, you know, scripts and previewing, and we're going to start
Awesome.
previewing together. But one question I have, I've tried to preview houses that were vacant just because I didn't want to, you know, I know how much work it is to get a house ready and then have to leave the house and take your pets and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And I was just trying to do that for the preview since I didn't actually have a buyer looking at the house, but it really limits what homes I can look at. What do you do when you're previewing a house that's, you know, not vacant that you want to look at? You know, what do you tell the agent, or you know, how do you handle that?
Well, you know, the seller always has the right to say no to a preview.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they have the right to, you know, when you call in to say centralized showing and you say that you are, you're there just to preview the property, the seller has the right to say no.
Okay.
So, I mean, if they say yes, and I agree with you 100% that if you are serious about learning what's going on in that house and everything, it does take a lot of time to get the property right. It does take a lot of time if they need to be, you know, if they're, need to get their children out, get the dog out, whatever. The agent should be able to tell you that. I mean, a lot of times what I'll do is, is I will call the agent directly
Okay.
before I call centralized showing. And I'll say, hey, I want to preview this house, but I don't want to inconvenience anybody.
Mhm.
You know, do they have to get a dog out? Do they have to get kids out? You know, what? And most of the time they say, no, don't worry about it, that, you know, they're at work all day or whatever. But building that relationship with the other agent is also very important as well.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
So
Thank
you can definitely call them and just say, heads up, I'm previewing this property. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to say I have a buyer for it. All you have to do is say you're previewing it. They don't know what you're previewing it for. You know, it's for your own education. They, you know, that's your right. And it's their right to say no. And so you just move on.
Okay, great
Just move
idea.
on.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So growing your business and running your business is completely different, because growing your business is the work that you do in the lead generation and all of that and perfecting what it is. When you run your business, that is where you're going to be showing houses, you're going to be marketing your listings, you're going to negotiate contracts, you're going to do paperwork. That is working in your business. And so, you know, you set your goals to the things that you want to do, and you're just constantly looking at that. So running your business is completely different. I think the one thing that someone told me in the very beginning when I first started is manage your money. If you don't have the money, don't spend the money. There's a lot of things that you can do that don't cost money. There's a lot of marketing things, and there's a lot of different things that you can do that that don't cost money. So, and people are willing to share those kind of things with you, but you'll see people that, you know, have been in the business for a long time, and they send out postcards and newsletters and this and that and this and that and this and that. Emails don't cost anything. So when you get into Command and you set up those smart plans and you set up all of that stuff, the emails are free, you guys. The emails are free. The one thing that you want to do is you want to stay in front of everybody. You always want to be top of mind. So anybody that's in your database, you definitely need to stay in contact with them. Okay. That is one of the biggest things of all, is that you want to make sure that they don't call you before you call them. You know, I just learned, you know, even when I was in the corporate world, that if somebody calls you before you had the chance, you know, like a follow-up call or whatever, if they called to follow up with you, you're too late. So you should follow up with them before they have the chance to call you. Okay. So just, you know, you always want to stay top of mind, and you don't always have to call to talk about business. You can just call to say, you know, check on their family, you know, check on their mother, check, what have you been up to? You know, especially in this year when, you know, everybody was home, you know, a lot of people have projects that they've done, a lot of things like that. So it's all about the relationship. The stronger you build the relationship, the better it is. Okay. Something that, in one of my trainings, Tony DeSello, who used to be one of the main coaches here in Keller Williams, we were at a training one time and he made us all stand up and he said, look at the screen. And on the screen, it said, it's not about the market. It's not about the market. And he made us say it over and over and over and over. And he said, it's all about what I do. So then after like saying it like 10 times, it was like, it's not about the market. It's all about what I do. All about the things that I do to keep my business going consistently. So you just have to remember that the business, it doesn't matter that the market is the way it is right now. There's still going to be business. If you look at the MLS, there's still people that are listing properties. There's still people that are putting buyers in contract, and there's still people that are closing every single day. So it's not about the market. It's all about what you are doing as a person and as an agent to get the business and to stay top of mind with everybody. Okay. People really don't decide their futures. They decide their habits. Okay. The habits are what creates your future. So if you're someone that gets up at 10:30 in the morning, maybe you get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you just start something completely different. But it's the habits that you decide to keep that's going to determine what your future is. So it all goes back again to growing your business. Are you lead generating every day? Are you lead generating? Are you trying to master your listing presentation? Are you trying to master your buyer's presentation? Those are all things, those are all habits. And if you continue to do it, I think they said, what is a habit? Is it 66 days? If you continue to do something for like 60 days in a row, 66 days in a row, it just becomes automatic. So those are all things, and we'll learn that a little bit more. So another thing that I was told by Tony is it's really not, it's not about selling real estate. This whole thing is not about selling real estate. It's all about following your schedule. Everything is about following your schedule. So if you have on your schedule that you're lead generating from 9 to 11 every day, you shouldn't be doing the laundry. You shouldn't be making someone's breakfast. You shouldn't be getting in the shower. You shouldn't be driving to the office. If your lead generation is from 9 to 11, you should be in the office or in your office, wherever it is, whether it's home or whether it's in the building. You should be ready and prepared and ready to go from 9 to 11. And that's all you do. It's all you do, because that is your time from 9 to 11. And it doesn't, you know, I just always say do it first, because that is, you always want to do the things that you don't want to do first. Because if you get that out of the way, then the rest of the day is really great. But I have a book that I look at my goals every single day. And I usually do my goals and I do my business plan in October, so that when the new year comes around, I can sit down and say, oh, I want to pay off this card and this card. And that is my main focus. You know, those are the things that I focus on, and I work and work and work until I get those things done. And I set the goals, and once I get to them, then I set another one, and then I set another one. Successful real estate agents, no matter what, they don't ever stop lead generating. When you get a little bit further in the business, you'll realize that in November and December, a lot of people take what we call as realtor vacation, realtor holiday, because everybody seems to think that nobody buys houses or sells houses in November and December. It's not true. It's not true. You have to work this as a business. If you worked in a corporate job, you would be working in November, you'd be working in December. So why are you going to take a vacation? Because I can tell you that you will have more business in January, February, and March if you're working in November and December. And that's what happens a lot of times to people, is in January, February, and March, they're saying, oh my gosh, I don't have any business. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what I did. Well, because they took all that time off because they thought no one was going to sell. Doesn't matter if you have listings. It doesn't matter if you have buyers, but you should be writing handwritten notes. You should be sending out cards. You should be calling them just to say, how's the holiday going? How's this going? How's that going? You just need to continue to be, again, top of mind to them. And you need to make sure that people know that you care about them. Then in January, February, and March, the work that you did in November and December, that will all show up in January, February, and March. So when you see people saying, oh, there's no business out there, then you know that they took realtor vacation. They did what they want to do. The other thing is, social media. I mean, you can definitely in the morning, when you first get up in the morning, social media, it's so easy to do. Get up, send 5 messages. I always like 5 people's things. I will send 5 happy birthdays or happy anniversaries to someone, and I comment on 5 different posts. I do all of that before I even get in the shower. And so that's one thing that I automatically do, and it's off my list. And then I continue on with the day. So, I think the biggest thing is when you put your schedule together, and usually I put my schedule together on Sunday night, and it goes all week long, and I time block my time. And the biggest thing that sometimes people do they try to fill up the entire calendar every single minute of every day with something. That's unrealistic. So again, what are the most important things? Lead generation, appointments, and also practicing your presentations for the day. So if you immediately put on your calendar, no matter what, 9 to 11, that you are going to time block that time, and always do your calendar in pencil, because if you erase something, you have to replace it somewhere else. So if you erase, you must replace. Okay? And just remember that. So then make sure that you put time, all your appointments that are important. Like I always go through, my son plays hockey. It's important to me that I go to all of his hockey games. So those appointments I put on my calendar already. And if somebody needs to if I need to show a property or someone wants to see something, I let them know I already have an appointment at that time. They don't know that my appointment is with my son and my husband at my son's hockey game. They just know that I have an appointment at that time. And then I ask them when is another time for them and what else is good for them, because I already have an appointment. So the more professional you sound with that, the better. They don't need to know what your appointment is. But your family is really important. So you need to make sure that you're not only focused on business, that you also focus on your family and yourself. If you work out every day, that should be non-negotiable. So again, if you get up at 10:30 in the morning, maybe you need to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and work out from 8 to 9 instead of from 10 to 11. You just have to do things a little bit different. But sometimes people say, well, I'm on the phone at 11 o'clock at night. You don't need to be on the phone at 11 o'clock at night with your clients. You are telling your clients it's okay for them to call you at 11 o'clock at night. You shouldn't do that. That is your time, your family's time. I'm in bed by 11 o'clock. So, you know, that's the thing, is that you need to set the rules. So if, you know, like, for example, Brian Kemp in our office, he has on his telephone, hi, this is Brian Kemp. If this is after 6 o'clock at night, I'm spending time with my family. If you need something of emergency, please leave a message and I'll get back to you, or I will call you first thing in the morning. He sets it right up front that there is something, you know, you don't want people calling you at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Now, can I say that I've done that? Yes, I have done that before, because somebody was on vacation and we were negotiating a serious contract and we were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so we both agents, both of us were on the phone all night long trying to get that through. But the thing is to just take people's phone calls. You don't need to do that. You really, really, really don't need to do that. But the biggest thing is that if you guys have not read this book, I'll tell you, it really changed my life in a lot of ways. It's called The Miracle Morning. I don't know if I have it. Might have it with me. This is what it looks like. The Miracle Morning. And it really, I've highlighted things. I do all of it. And it talks about how you start your morning. Your morning, however you start your morning, that's how your whole day goes. So if you get up and you're in a grumpy mood and nothing's going right and everything, that's how your whole day is going to go. It also teaches you how to get up. You know, maybe you haven't worked out and you just could never find the time to work out or whatever. Get up an hour earlier. Get up, you know, take the time for yourself to calm down in the morning, to get things where it needs to be. And that's how your whole day will run. So, I mean, if you want to, you know, if you want to think about it and read that book, I mean, I highly suggest it. It's really, really, really awesome. Have you guys ever seen the teacher presentation where they took the jar and they put all the rocks in it, and the teacher says, "Oh, is this jar full?" Has anyone seen that? Well, the thing is, it's really, really true. And I was gonna kind of do that today, and then last night I got home and I was too tired. So, but if you just take a glass jar, and what are your 3 or 4 big rocks that you know you have to do? And mine is the lead generation, myself, my family, and then things like this, like the education and just helping in the market center. So I put all of those things in a jar, and then all the other little things, all the other little rocks that go in are standing in the hallway talking, the going out to lunch, the all the little things that you seem to do that you think that you're busy with that really aren't making you any money. It's not making you any money at all. It's not getting you to the next step. It's not getting you to all of that stuff. I don't know how many people on here work from home, but I can't work from home because my husband also works from home. And if I'm sitting there, I'm very like this, focused on getting stuff done. And he wants the TV on. And then he's like, "Oh, did you put that load of laundry in the dryer? Oh, what are you going to make for dinner tonight?" You know what? That's not how I work. And you have to do what makes you feel good, because the thing is sometimes when you work from home, people think you don't really work. So the kids accidentally leave their paperwork at home or their lunch at home, and you got to run that to the school, or you got to do this or you got to do that because Everyone thinks, oh, mom works from home or Holly works from home. She can do that. Don't worry about it. Mm-mm. You got to take your business serious. You got to take your business serious, because if you don't, nobody else does. And so if you are getting up and going to the grocery in the middle of the day when you know that you should be doing something, you are telling people it's okay for them to do that to you. It's okay for them to ask you what is for dinner. It's okay for them to ask you to, Mom, can you wash my jeans right now? Can you do this? You are setting the tone. So if you're working at home, sometimes it's a really, really, really hard thing to do, but you just have to set it aside and say, what are all the little things and what are all the minuscule things, but what are the big things that I have to get done during the day that when I go to bed tonight, I feel really good. Another book that is really good is Eat That Frog. Has anybody read the book, Eat That Frog, Eat the Frog? It is about eating the thing that is the one grossest, meanest, ugliest thing that you want to do for the day. It's like getting it done first thing in the morning. So if you get that one thing done, the rest of your day goes really, really great. And I'll tell you, Brian Tracy, it is the funniest book because he really talks about all the stuff in it that if you have that lead generation sitting on there and you're like, you know what, I'm going to do all this stuff first and I'll lead generate at 3 o'clock today. When 3 o'clock comes, all the things from the day will compile. And at 3 o'clock, you'll take care of all of these things and you never get to that one thing that you should have done at the very beginning of the day. Because that one thing that you eat and you take care of at the beginning of the day, that will run your whole day. And when you go to bed that night, you'll know that you accomplished exactly everything that you set out to do. Does anybody lead generate right now in the early morning? Right now, are you working on your database in the morning? Anybody?
I put it on my
Yes.
calendar in the morning, but I have a tendency to do it later. So this is great information for me. I need to structure my mornings better than I am.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, if you really put if you time block your calendar and follow your calendar to the fullest extent. And that's why I say, don't fill it up every minute of every day, because if you fill it up and then you get behind, you're like, oh my God, I'm off schedule. I can't get back on schedule. I can't do this. Don't do that. Set your main rocks, put those on your calendar first and fill in any little things that you know that you need to do. And then you'll feel much better. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have been lead generating in the morning from 9 to 11. Mostly it's been working on my database, not a lot of calls yet. I'll get there. I will say we got a puppy on Christmas Eve and she wakes up at 7 o'clock every morning. And it's been, I come from the restaurant industry, so I'm through and through a night owl, not a morning person, but this is helping me overcome that a lot. So it's good.
But then again, stop and think about it. You got this new puppy. So what are you teaching them? You're teaching them that if they get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're going to let them out. Every day at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're going to let them out. So you're teaching them that. And then automatically they know that when they come in, there's a drink and there's food for them. Right?
Yeah.
So the thing is that if you lead generate, it's the same thing. Get up. Be scheduled, get ready to go. So you're up at 7 o'clock with your dog and you're ready to go. Okay. Let the dog out, do all the things you need to do. In my household, I take a shower, I get cleaned up. I have to do that because when I worked at home the very, very first time, I would just keep my pajamas on and I'd go downstairs and I'd start working and I felt so weird.
Yeah.
I felt like, what the heck am I doing? So then if you get up, get in the shower and just get ready for work. Then go in your office and shut the door.
That's
But that's so good that your dog, I mean, that's a great
She's
example.
training me.
That's a great example because that dog is you were teaching that dog at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're going to get up and you're going to take him out. That's so, so, so good. So in your, I think it's your little packet that you have here on page 3 of your notes, there is what we call in Keller Williams, the 411 action goal, the action plan worksheet. Do you guys all have that? It looks like this. Do you have that? So basically what that is you got 4 weeks in the month and you're going to do 1 week a month. And then you break it down to 1 day. So the 411 is 4 weeks in the month. You're going to go then by the week, and then you're going to go by the day. So what that does is it tells you exactly what you're going to do. And there are, and I can definitely point you in the right direction of some videos that teach you how to do that on a great scale. But so what I do on Sunday night is I set the tone for what I need to do for the entire month. So for example, if I am going to do 100 phone calls in the month, I try to do more than that, but if I do 100 in the month, I put in the first column 100 contacts. I'm going to write 100 handwritten notes. I put 100 handwritten notes. 555, which is my 5 likes, my 5 contacts for birthdays and anniversaries, and the 5 comments on social media. I put everything that I need to do for the entire month in that first column. So when I'm working that first week, I know I need to make 100 contacts. If I only made 5 contacts that week, the next week, I need to transfer over to that week 95 contacts because I only made 5 contacts in the previous week. If I wrote 50 handwritten notes, then I only have to put 50 in that second column. Because for the rest of the month, then I only have to write 50 handwritten notes. So then I'm thinking, oh, I can write 25 today. I can write 10. I can, so then you break it out. So you put in the very first column everything that you need to do for the entire month. And then what you don't get done in the first week, you move to the second week. What you don't get done in the second week, you move to the third week. What you don't get done in the third week, then if you didn't do much, then you got a heck of a lot of work to do in the 4th week of the month. If you're ever going to get to your goals, if those are the things that are important to you, because you always want to know, why are you doing the business? And on the 411, it'll ask you, what is your big goal? So if your goal is to make $100,000, then you have to break it down. And this 411, it will help you to break everything down so that you can see on a monthly basis what you need to do. And the thing is that it doesn't have to be just for work. If you're trying to lose 50 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever, and you put in that first column that week you want to work out 30 minutes a day. If you didn't work out 30 minutes a day, then the next week you got to work out longer, because it's all up to you. And again, it's following the schedule. So if you set up your 411, it will all work out. And you guys have a blank one in your forms on page 3, and that will definitely help you tremendously. And if you need help, I am more than happy to do this, because I've taught this class before, and I'd be more than happy to teach you how to use it and to use it to its biggest extent. Has anybody heard of the 80-20 rule? So it means that 80% of the people, you know, are doing 20% of the work, or I'm sorry, 20% of the people are doing 80% of the work. And they're also the ones that are making 80% of the money. And it's because those 20% of the people doing the work are doing the work that the other people don't want to do. It really helps you prioritize and to focus on what is important. So if you don't focus, that means that you don't put all those big rocks all in one, you know, all in at the beginning. So when you're really looking at what is your goal? If your goal is to sell 10 houses this year, you don't need to look at it for the whole year, and you need to break it out. How many do you need to sell each month? And then what are the actions that you need to take to get there per month, per week, per day? What is it that you need to do? And that really helps with the 411, and they'll help you with that. And so, you know, writing down your goals and making sure that you understand what your big rocks are is probably one of the biggest things that you need to take away from this class today. Or what are your big rocks, and when are you going to do those? Most of the people, you hear people say, I am an evening person, I'm not a morning person. That's because that's what you tell yourself. You know what? If you want to be a morning person, get a dog, right? But no, I mean, if you are not a morning person, try it. Read the book, The Miracle Morning, and I'm telling you, it'll make you look at things differently. And okay, if you're an evening person and you get a lot of stuff done in the evening, that's okay, but start your day off really good first. The thing is that you want to set objectives of what you want to do. So you're going to say, well, what is my goal? And then how am I going to measure my progress? Like how am I going to measure that? How am I going to do that? Then you want to make sure that you have the correct systems and tools in place to do that. And that's why Keller Williams gives you all of these things and gives you all of these tools and systems, because if you put the systems in place, it does work. It really does work. And then when you look at it and you say, okay, this is my goal. Do I have it aligned every single month, every single week, so that I'm going to hit my goal when I say I'm going to hit my goal? You know, and that goes back again to the weight thing. Okay. In that you want to lose 25 pounds. What are you doing to lose that 25 pounds? It's not just about working out. It's about how much water are you drinking? How are you changing your eating habits? Are you walking? You know, what are you doing? You got to break it and be as specific and purposeful as you can. And I'll tell you guys, it'll move your business so quickly, is if you know what your goal is and you have everything laid out week by week by week by week. It is just really a serious thing. The time blocking, it's one of the most important things that you can do for your business. And it doesn't matter if you have a digital, if you do your calendar digitally, or if you write it down. I'm old school. I tried the digital thing. It dings and it tells me this and it tells me that. I need to look at something on a piece of paper. So I just put it out and I look at it, and I look at I have my time blocking in there, and I have it all done. If somebody cancels an appointment or cancels something, I erase it and I ask them, when do you want to reschedule that? I don't just let them go off the grid and not reschedule. Again, if you erase it, you got to replace it, and you got to replace it somewhere. So you need to make sure that you do that. Does anybody else use a paper calendar or laying out in front of you so that you can see it?
Yeah, I live by it. I have to, I'm very visual that way. And
I know.
You know, and like you said, on Sunday, I go through, write in all the classes. I look at the market center update and put everything in for the entire week. And I look, and before I go to bed at night, I look at it again to say, okay, you know, I can work out between 7 and 8 because at 9 o'clock I've got to do blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
There's a certain
And don't, when you go to
satisfaction.
bed at night, don't you feel better because you're like, oh, I know what I got to do tomorrow. I've got this already done. So I already know what I got
It
to
helps
do.
my mind rest so that I
Mhm.
know it's taken care of and it's going to be fine. And as long as I get up on time when I'm supposed to and get moving, it's fine.
And you know
another
what?
thing I
That's
wanted
a
to,
funny thing, that book, The Miracle Morning, because every once in a while I just like hit the snooze button, or I'll, you know, the alarm will go off and I'll just reach up and I'll just grab it and hold it. And it's like, no, move your alarm across the room. And then, so I put the alarm across the room and it says immediately drink a glass of water before you do anything else and brush your teeth. And the minute that you brush your teeth, you never will go back to bed. And you know what? It's so stupid, but it really does work. It really, really, really does work. And so you set the alarm across the room, get up, turn it off, drink your water and brush your teeth, and then you're up. That book is funny. I love it. So, and Courtney, what were you going to say?
Just that I get a real sense of satisfaction from being able to check things off my list and cross them out, like physically, rather than just pushing away a notification.
Now, when you're putting things on a list, are those toward your big rocks, or is that just a whole bunch of stuff that you need to get done? Are you putting your big things at the top?
Yeah, they're prioritized.
Good.
The planner I have has at the top your big 3 things to get done for the day,
Mhm.
and then there are 2 other columns. So I do prioritize them in order.
did you get
That's
the one that
good.
I suggested you get, Courtney?
I
Because it sounds like it's the one that I have.
was pretty particular about it. I wanted one that was like broken down by day.
Yeah, that's the one that I have.
I love it. I really do like it a lot.
So are you 2 accountability partners?
No, she had just asked for a recommendation for a planner.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's good.
I lived off my schedule digitally or electronically for years. And I went back to putting it in writing. You know, I think it's just like taking notes. You know, they've learned that if you take notes, even if you don't go back and always read them, you'll remember them much longer than if you don't write it down. In other words, if you type it in your computer, you'll remember it
Mhm.
not as long as writing it down.
Yeah.
I had one other book recommendation too,
Yeah.
called The 5-Second Rule.
Yeah.
So it's pretty popular. You may have heard of it, but I found it to be very helpful. It made me think about it when you talked about, you know, getting up in the morning, you know, and that's one of the things the book talks about is to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm up, and just do it before your mind lets you talk you up, let yourself talk yourself out of it.
And that's a good book too, because that has a lot of things about, you know, when you're in conversation with someone and maybe they're not, you know, maybe it's not a good conversation or whatever, and you're just trying to keep calm. If you just do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then say what you're saying, it'll keep things pretty much in, you know, in check. That is a good book, The 5-Second Rule. I've read that myself.
Excuse me, Holly.
Yeah.
Lisa, Courtney, can you put the name of your planner into the chat for me, please? If you don't mind.
Do you want Courtney's or you want mine?
Either one, both, please.
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, I can.
I'll go ahead and send you the link from Amazon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I get mine at where did I get it? At Staples. I've used this for probably 12 years, and it's At a Glance Weekly Planner 12-month. And this is what my calendar looks like. It's like completely full all the time, but it also breaks it out by day. So I know exactly what I'm doing every minute of every day. The other thing that I have learned with writing things down, and this will help with your taxes as well, is that if I am spending money, like on the 28th of December, I had a photo shoot at one of my houses, and I put that I paid this amount of money on a photo shoot for that day. Then I had a staging company come in 2 days later. So I paid them this amount of money. And then I went to Staples on Saturday and I spent $57. I just write that at the top of every single day. One of my clients went to the hospital and I sent her flowers. I put it on the day that I sent the flowers, how much money. So when I go back at the end of the year, even though I have the receipts that I print off and I put in a file, every single day that I spend money, I put it in my calendar and I put it on the top of every single day. So whatever I spent that day, that's what I put on that day. And I'll tell you, it will help you tremendously to keep track of what you're doing. If you know, I kind of like attach things in my planner like this. I have to do something for my son's school on this day. And so I just wanted to make sure I had the flyer and know exactly what I'm supposed to do, what website I'm supposed to be on. So that way I just attach that stuff right to that page and then I don't have to worry about it. I also put like little quotes on the top of my calendar. And this says, do your best. I mean, I just go get these little stickers. And you know what? These kind of things help me. She who dares wins. Those kind of things just like motivate me to keep going. I also color code things. And I was just telling Keely this yesterday, is anything that makes me money, I highlight it in green so that I know that that makes me money. And no matter what, I cannot change that. And I will not erase it and I will not do anything. But like all meetings that are in the office here, I mark as purple. Everything that affects my son is in red. And I know that no matter what, those things cannot be changed. Now, appointments and stuff like that, that can all be changed. But the things that, you know, the making money things, that doesn't change for me at all. I also make sure that no matter what, I'm in an open house every single weekend, whether it's my open house or whether I can find one from someone here in the office. And if nobody has any, then I look for who is doing open houses, like what open houses are out there. And I just go to the open house and I just see what's going on. Because the thing that you'll realize is that sometimes when people come to your open house, they're checking you out. Not only, they may not be there to look at the house. They may be there to see what kind of systems and how are you greeting them? How knowledgeable are you about the neighborhood? How are you this? How are you that? They're also checking you out. They may be ready to sell their house, or they may be looking for a buyer's agent or something like that. You never know. That's why you always need to make sure that you're checking things out. So I go a lot of times and if I see a really great agent holding an open house, then I tell Brian or someone here in the office and say, wow, I think this agent would be a really great agent for our office. I went to their open house and they did this, 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 and this. And I'm telling you what, they were really on it. And then we talked to them about coming to Keller Williams because we feel that they are a great fit for Keller Williams. And, you know, you always want to work with the best people. So those are the kind of things that you look for. And you know what? You're driving down the road, you'll always see an open house somewhere. Just stop in. Doesn't mean that you have to, be interested in the house or anything like that. It just means that you're doing some research. Maybe that's a preview for you. Maybe you're looking, what are the new trends? What is everything going on? Maybe you set up, maybe that is your preview instead of, to your point of making sure that you're not inconveniencing the seller. Maybe you go to the open houses and just kind of look and say, wow, they did a great job on this renovation, or, wow, this really looks good. They really stayed right on trend. Oh, this house needs a little bit of work. As you walk through it, look at it from a buyer's point of view. What would you like to see if you were in this house? You might walk in and say, wow, they could have done this or they could have done that. But that helps you in the previews and everything like that. So the other thing that you'll find is if you have someone that can hold you accountable, that is so incredibly important. I always say that if you can find someone that you can learn from, but they can also learn from you, that is just so important. Because and I have two accountability partners. I have one here in my office that I work with, an agent, and then I also have one that I used to work at another office. And so she asked me if I would be her accountability partner as well. And a lot of times, they'll say, oh my gosh, you have so much experience. You have this, you have that. You know what? I learn a lot from them too, because if I don't do the work that I'm supposed to do, or I'm not doing what I should be doing, they will say to me, well, why didn't you do that? And then they'll say, well, that's not a good enough excuse. Like, you can make excuses. And it comes down to, do you make the excuses? It's excuses or results. You either make an excuse or you do the results. So, I just know that every time I meet with them, that if I didn't get something done that we talked about, they're going to call me out on it. And they're going to say, well, you said you were going to do this, this, and this. Why didn't you do it? But then I'm also that way with them. And, you try to find a person that will challenge you and will hold you accountable. It's not about saying, hey, what'd you have for dinner last night? In the beginning, you can say, did you get your 411 done? We always start off with business. And as we walk out of the meeting, it's like, hey, did you go to dinner last night? What'd you do? Did you have a glass of wine? What'd you do last night? Never do I ever say to them right up front, what'd you do last night? Because that is an appointment that I have with them from 11 to 12 on Thursday. And I want to know, did she do what she said she was going to do? And then I have to report, did I do what I said I was going to do? Guys, I'm telling you, it's really powerful. And if you can find somebody, and a lot of times it can be a new agent, it could be another agent. I would ask somebody in the office if they would be your accountability partner. And, do all of you work with Josh? Are you in productivity coaching? Are all of you pretty much in good? Because, it is so important that you get the coaching along the way and get everything done that you need to get done. But he will also say, hold yourself accountable and find somebody that you can find to hold yourself accountable to. You just want to make sure that the person that is your accountability partner is going to be honest and fair, but they don't really, they're not going to criticize you or any of that. It's not about criticizing. It's about helping you get to the next step, helping you get to the next level. Again, put it on your calendar. When you and your accountability partners say that this is what you're going to do and when you're going to do it, do it. If you erase it, replace it. I do it, I meet with them once a week. And so we meet before before 9 o'clock, because I want to make sure that at 9 o'clock I'm here in the office. And we get a lot done from 8 to 9. And usually it's 8 to 8:45 so that we can make sure, but I have one that's at 11 o'clock on Thursday. And I think that one of the things that you just need to remember is it all goes back to, what is your goal? What are your big whys? What is everything that you want to do? In your notes too, there's some ahas on achievement on your page 7, where it's, how are you, how has your thinking changed through Ignite? Like, what are you guys thinking about? What are you doing? How are you, do you feel differently? Have you learned things that you probably knew, but you didn't really think it was that important to do? Are you hearing things, or maybe putting things into action that you would never put into action before? Those are all things that you really, really, really need to do. The other thing is script practice. With you guys being brand new, I know that there's not many of you that have taken Bold before, but when Bold comes back around, it's a Bold training class, and it's really important. And in that class, they will provide for you presentation scripts. They also give objections that people have. Example, like, will you lower your commission? Well, you don't want to look at them and say no, because of course they're going to think that you're snobby. But the thing is, the true answer is no. You work too hard, and you shouldn't have to discount your commissions, because one, you work hard, you are the professional, you do have to pay your bills, and you are worth it. So you don't have to lower your commission. So I think to get your business really totally moving, I'm going to do a couple of things. One, you probably need to set a goal to add 10 people a week to your database. Okay. So add 10 contacts to your database. That means that you have their address, their phone number, their email address. You can work on their birthdays and their anniversaries and all that stuff afterwards. But you know what? Are they a parent? So that on Mother's Day, you can send them a Mother's Day card. Are they a father? So you can send a Father's Day card. Those are the kind of things that you want to be thinking about for go forward. Like, what can I send them an anniversary card? Can I do this? Can I do that? But if you add 10 people to your database a week, you will be really great. What you want to do is you want to try and have 10 conversations a day. And that's not 10 pick up the phone, call the person, and leave a voicemail. That's not a conversation. A conversation is one-to-one. It doesn't have to be on the phone. It could be talking to your neighbor next door. It could be someone in the grocery store. But it is 10 conversations a day with someone. Everybody is going to ask you, how is the real estate business? Well, you know what? The real estate business to everybody is different. And I just always say to them, oh, that's interesting. Are you interested in buying or selling or investing in real estate? Because every side of the business is different. So if they say, well, I'm thinking about buying, then you can talk to them a little bit more educational wise on what's going on in the buying market right now. If they're looking to sell a house, you can talk to them about selling. But an investor is completely different. Investment properties right now are very intense, and it's very hard to find investment properties right now. Doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever, but all aspects of real estate is different. And that's why every single day in real estate, it's just different. It is totally, totally different every single day. Doesn't mean the big rocks change every day. It just means that real estate changes every day. Your big rocks should always stay the same. And then I say 10 previews a week of homes. We don't have that many houses to preview right now, but I would preview as many as you can. If that means that you go to open houses, go to open houses. If that means that you need to go look at empty homes, look at empty homes. And just set things out. Just make sure you're out there in the market and you understand what's going on. Look at the MLS on a daily basis. How many new listings do we have? How many went into contract yesterday? How many went into contract last week? How many listings are in Hilliard? How many listings are in Dublin? You can pull all that information up, and that just educates you a little bit more. And now I'm going to challenge you that I would like for you to write 10 handwritten notes a day or a week. I'm sorry, not a day. That's hard to do. But 10 handwritten notes a week. And this can be on Keller Williams cards. And we have some of those at the front desk that, they can, that you can purchase, or I just go to Target and I get little note cards, 10 in a box for like $6.99, something like that. Just generic, whatever. And I handwrite notes every single week to people. And so what I'm going to say to you is, for the next month, for the whole month of February, there will be a basket at the front desk. And if you write your 10 handwritten notes every single week, and you put 2 in on Monday, 2 in on Tuesday, 2 in on Wednesday, 2 in on Thursday, 2 in on Friday, the Market Center will pay the postage on those 10 cards for the whole month of February. Okay. So that means that you don't have to worry. You won't be charged for that at all. But Brian, I did talk to Brian about it, and he said, absolutely. If that's going to help you get your business going and everything, there it is. So I will make sure that the front desk has a little basket there, and she'll know that every day when you put those in there, she knows that she'll go ahead and do the postage, and that'll start on February 1st. Okay. And it'll go through the 28th. So if you guys write 10 a week, stop and think about that. That's 40 people that you've contacted. And you can't write the same card you can't write to the same person every week. It has to be 40 people. So you have a whole week to think about who you're going to send cards to. And you know what? And the card can be as simple as, I was just thinking about you, and handwrite it. Don't put a label on it. Handwrite it. Handwrite the notes and get as personal as you want to. If you know the kids, hey, I was just wondering how the kids are doing in school. If there's anything that I can do, if you can think of anyone that's looking to buy or sell real estate, please know I'm available. Put your card in there. Don't put your card in there. Doesn't matter. Like, I just wrote 150 cards in the last 2 weeks, and I put a $1 lottery ticket in it. And I said, here is to good luck for 2021. If you need anything, I'm available. Holly. No business card, no nothing. And I sent it. Of those 150 cards, I probably got 30 people called me back. Didn't say anything about real estate. I just said, here's to good luck in 2021. If you need anything, I'm here. That's it. Just said, appreciate you, Holly. And that was all I did. Those are the little things that you can do on a continual basis. Those are the things that you can do. You don't have to put a lottery ticket in it. You don't have to do anything. But you got Valentine's Day coming up in February. Something nice to talk about. Something, you know, if you don't ask for the business, you will never get it. If you know anybody looking to buy or sell real estate, if you or someone that you know is looking to buy or sell real estate, please keep me in mind. It's all up to you guys. I mean, it's all up to what you want to do.
Holly, just real quick, thank you
Yeah.
for the postage. I think that's awesome. For having the
Absolutely.
postage paid. Thank you. That's great.
Absolutely. So January or February 1st through the 28th, you get 10 a week and it's paid for by the Market Center. Okay. What can I answer for you? What comments can I take from you? What can I do to help you? What do you feel? What do you feel like you learned today? What did I tell you that you might not have thought about and that you will put into work at this point? Anybody?
I really liked what you said on creating habits and just make yourself do it every day and all of a sudden it'll just come naturally. It's something I have struggled with a little bit throughout my life, so I'm really trying to focus on that right now.
Well, definitely anything, Courtney, that you need, I am here in the Market Center every day. So if you need anything, you please feel free to stop by in my office. My door is always open.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything that anyone had any questions about that I could possibly answer? I think that you can see that nothing is ever the same during the days. You just have to set your priorities and go from there.
Hi, this, go ahead, Melody, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I really like the idea of tracking, you know, what I want to accomplish on every day or every week in my planner. Because I've not been tracking it there and I'm not keeping track of things like I need to. So I'm gonna.
The biggest thing is that, you know, the hardest part for me when I first got into real estate is when I went to do my taxes. Oh, I was going through my credit card statements and going through all this stuff and whatever. And I just learned that if I put that in my planner, if I spend money that day, I put it in my planner so that I know that I account for every single dime. Because even if you are going downtown to a meeting and you have to pay $10 for a parking ticket, you put that in your planner that you paid $10 for the parking ticket. I'm telling you, you don't know how much money that you don't account for in your taxes if you don't keep great track of what it is. So it really does help. And it's things that I learned. I had to learn it along the way, because if I didn't, then, you know, my accountant would say to me, well, what about this? What about that? And I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. And he's like, well, why didn't you put it down? Well, I didn't know to put it down. You know? So that's the big thing. And that will help you if you just write it at the top of every single day, how much money you spent. You'll be amazed at how much money that, you know, that going into Staples to buy a pencil and you come out and you bought a notebook and you bought a new planner and you bought this and you bought that. That's all, you can write all that off.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna track too, like my notes, 10 notes a week. Like I can make little checks under that to track it. And my social media, did I get that done? Did I, you know,
Mhm.
so I can check it off. And then
I
this
have a
one-
checklist that and I can share that with you. It's things that I do on a daily basis, whether it's like I work from my 411, but it's also things that I do on a daily basis. Like I make my phone calls, I write my handwritten notes, I read so much. Did I journal? Did I do my gratitude journal, whatever? And it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I just like check it off.
Yeah, I'd love to have
At the
that.
end of the day, then I can see exactly what I did and I can see what I'm not doing,
Mhm.
and that's the kind of stuff that is really, the more that you hold yourself accountable, the better your business is going to be.
Thank you. I put my email address in the,
I got it. Yeah, got it. I definitely will. If everybody will type in the chat your email addresses, I will make sure that Elise knows exactly who gets the free 10 cards a week for the month. So where did I get the stickers with the quotes on them? I got them at Staples. And there's little note things on there, and it just says, just all kinds of things, anything that makes you smile or happy or generate stuff on a daily basis. You just put all that in. So anything that you guys can think of. Again, going back to scripts, if you can get into bold at any time, make sure that you do that. We do have, everybody has scripts that they can share with you and everything. So we can do that. On your do not call compliance, there should be a registry here at the office. And you can check it to see if somebody says, I'm on the do not call list, and you've called them, all you do is apologize and say, I'm sorry, I didn't see your name on the list. You don't have, and then just immediately know that you shouldn't be calling them again. You always want to make sure that you come from contribution. Always try to give them something. So you're always wanting to give them something in contribution. Oh, did you know that house down the street from you? Maybe they're not even thinking of selling at this moment, but they're your friend and you're writing a handwritten note. Hey, I just wanted you to know that house that's down the street from you, it was on the market for 1 day and it sold over asking price. Can you believe that? Those are the kind of things, handwritten notes for me, I thank people for everything. So if I had a meeting with someone, I thank them for meeting with me. Like if I'm going to a listing appointment, I thank him for the listing appointment. If I get the listing, I thank them. If I didn't get the listing, I thank them. And I just make sure that they know I appreciate their time for what they did. When people stop by my open houses and you ask them for their name, their address, their phone number and whatever, send them a card, thank them. I take cards with me to my open house, so when it's not busy, I just say thanks so much for stopping by my Stansbury house on Sunday. I appreciate the fact that you came in. If there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. And the card is stamped, and I just put my business card in it and I drop them off once I leave the open house, I just drop them in the mailbox and they have it in a day or two. And so they're like, wow. Referrals, let me tell you, if you get referrals from a friend, keeping that friend updated on what is going on is just as important as working with that client, because your person that referred them, say that Keely recommended me to work with Autumn. If Autumn is buying a house, I definitely am going to tell Keely, I just want you to know, Autumn and I just went out. We looked at 5 houses. I think she's really serious. Thank you so much for the referral. I'll keep you posted. When she goes into contract, I say, hey, I just want you to know that Autumn went into contract and we are going to close on February 28th. Thank you so much for the referral. Also, too, when that house closes and Autumn closes on that house, I will always send Keely something. It might be a $10 card to Starbucks, whatever I know that she likes. I just send her a card with a Starbucks card in it, or I might stop by with a bouquet. You can get a bouquet of flowers at Kroger's for like $15. Have them take that plastic off and wrap it in the tissue paper with a bow or whatever. Drop it off at her house and say, you know what, Keely, thanks so much. I appreciate you. It's those little things that she'll refer people again and again and again and again. The other person that you don't want to forget about is the agents that you work with. It's the relationships that you build with the agents. Sometimes those are more important than your client, because when you go down the road, if you're working with an agent and you're in a multiple offer situation, they'll say, oh, you know what? I have worked with her before. She was very easy. He or she was very easy, very to the point, direct, I know. And when she talks to her clients, she can say, I worked with this person before. I know they're really honest. I know that they wouldn't tell me something if it wasn't the truth. And just one other point that I will give you guys, and then I think we're pretty much done for today, is anytime that I have a closing, I have a box of Christmas cards / holiday cards in my bottom drawer of my cabinet. And when I close on a house, if I have the seller or the buyer, it doesn't matter. I write them a Christmas card that day of closing. And I also do that to the agent that I closed with. Everything is so fresh in my mind. So I can say, you know what, Cindy, I loved that the girls ran through the house and they found their own bedrooms. I just thought that was so cute. I hope they enjoy them. I hope they're enjoying them, because then, you know, your month's out so that you know. And then the agent, I will say, thank you so much for co-oping with me. It's been just a really great pleasure. It was so easy. It was this, that, whatever. Hope we can do business again in the future. I seal them. I put a stamp on them, and I have a file in my drawer, and it says Christmas holiday cards. I put them in there, and they're in there at the end of the year. I can just go to that folder. I just pick them up and I drop them off at the post office. Before, I used to be sitting there in December and I would be writing handwritten notes, cards, whatever. And I thought, man, there's got to be a better way. And so now every time I have a closing, that's what I do. I also do I take their HUD statement, closing statement, and I address a white manila or a white envelope. I put a copy of their HUD statement in there, and I leave the envelope open because I'm going to write them a note that says, here is your HUD statement for your closing this past year. Please don't forget to use this in your taxes. And then I send it to them in January. I send everybody their HUD statements. I don't have to go back through the files. I don't have to go back through anything because I already made the copy. I already put it in the drawer and I already have it done. You'll find that as you do these things, you'll learn so much along the way. Don't make extra work for yourself. Think about the things that you can do when you close. If you guys have not been in Lori Molnar's Contract 1 and Contract 2 classes, you really need to know that, because you want to understand the contract inside and out, because your clients are going to ask you, well, what does this mean? What does that mean? You want to make sure you understand it. And Lori goes through it in massive detail, and it's really, really a great class. It's really very helpful, and she'll answer questions. And I mean, I've even taken the class, and being in the business over 10 years, there's still things in the contract that I'll say, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know we couldn't do that. And she always points those things out. So again, every single day you can learn something new. So anything else I can help you with? Any other questions I can answer? Anything that I can do for you? Okay. Guys, thank you. And I hope you've learned a lot in Ignite. And if you need anything, you can always come by.
Thank you very
Holly,
much, Holly. This was
You're
great.
so welcome, guys. Thank you. Have a great
you.
day, everybody.
Thank
It's
you.
Friday, even though it doesn't mean much to us. You know, it's still Friday.
Holly, can I give you a call or something after this to talk about?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My number is 614
Right.
563 1421.
All right, I'll give you a call in a little bit.
That sounds awesome. Thanks, guys.
you
Have
so
a great
much.
day.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.